This is NDTV. And you're watching NDTV Hindu.
Coonoor and Ooty virtually cut off. Coonoor highway caves in after incessant rains in the western districts. Fate of a 2-month baby hangs in the balance after her entire family commits suicide. The baby being treated in a private hospital in Guindy. Former bureaucrats and election officials come together to fight money power in polls. Call for an open house soon. The IT sector might be surging ahead, but the biggest IT parks are harbored in pools of dirt. From roads to repair work of virtually every commodity, look what a track record it has been for the 25 years of the Consumer Action Group.
He is taking suggestions from citizen groups, from representatives of public interest much more seriously than they would 25 years back.
And finally, see how children are learning to coordinate by joining the dots for a traditional kolam. Hello and very warm welcome to Late Night News with me, Ashmit Kumar. Let's also take a look at some national headlines. 2 explosions hit a Sufi shrine in Karachi. At least 8 people are dead. It's showering medals at the Commonwealth Games for hosts India. The gold tally is now at 14. Lalit Modi lands himself in a soup again. Enforcement Directorate wraps a blue collar around his neck. An apology follows a racist remark. New Zealand High Commission says sorry for tasteless remarks against Sheila Dixit. And the rupee reaches a 2-year high, reaches pre-Lehman levels. And in news just coming in, former AIADMK Minister Venkatachalam has been murdered near Pudukkottai. Now for more on this development, let's now go across to our senior correspondent Peer Mohammed, who is joining us live from the newsroom. Now Peer, at this moment, what are the latest details that are coming out of this one development?
Ashmit, in the evening today, that former tourism minister in the ADMK regime, Venkatachalam, was in his village, Vadakadu near Pudukkottai, and he was called out by a group of people who came in a Maruti Omni van and for a small panchayat in the locality, because he is quite a popular person there. He came out and immediately people wearing masks, they attacked him very badly, and he was in a critical condition admitted in the Pudukkottai government hospital, which is close by, and there he died. That is and the police suspect a kind of prior enmity or a kind of political rivalry, but they could not confirm anything. But he was quite a popular person. He was elected from Alangudi constituency in Pudukkottai district for 3 terms. First in 84 and again in 96 and again in 2001. In 2001 to 2006, Jayalalitha's regime, he was tourism minister for a few months. Then he was out of the ministry, but he is quite popular. But he lost the elections in 2006, the post assembly elections. He belonged to the majority community there, and he had a history of rivalry within the party and outside the party, and he was quite active in the ADMK till his death. Ashmit.
Right. So, P, is that a confirmation that we have of perhaps political rivalries or maybe such divides within the parties actually resulting in this one murder?
Looks like it could be a political murder, but he is also known for conflicts within the party. But at this point, we cannot judge that. The police say prior enmity could be the reason, and we have to wait and see what the police have to say after the investigations are over. Ashwin.
Right. Now, Pete, to view this in the context of the Madurai rally, which is around the corner, how do we read into this one development in that context of the rally around the corner?
Yes, as far as the sources are saying, he is quite active in the AIADMK, but Again, the police are not very tight-lipped about it, because the murder just happened, and also he was called out by a gang of masked men who called him for a local panchayat. They call it, more like, he used to solve issues locally. So he is also a popular person in the locality, and whether it could be a political assassination, we have to wait and see for the police reports. Ashmit.
Right, P. Thank you for joining us. That was our senior correspondent again, shedding some light on this disturbing development that has just taken place. Now, moving ahead to some more developments from the state. Rains rummaging through the western districts of Tamil Nadu. Heavy rains in the state have caused the Kunnur-Ooty road to cave in. Now, sources are telling us that the road has been closed to all heavy vehicles, including heavy tourist vehicles and trucks. Official confirmation is awaited for that. Now, Anantha Krishnan joined us live from Ooty to share with us more details about this one development.
Well, the main road that leads to Ooty from Kunnur, at a place called Kanikraj Nagar, just above Arvankadu. This is the same spot where the land caved in last year, and there was the traffic had to be closed for more than 2.5 months last year. The highway authority had built a retaining wall, and they had tried to put up the road last year. But due to this afternoon at around 2 o'clock, some people noticed cracks on the road on the left-hand side, that is on the cliff side. So immediately they alerted the authorities, and now as things stand, from 5 p.m., all traffic, that is, but heavy vehicle traffic, as you had rightly said, has been stopped on this road. The few stranded passengers who are traveling by car and by scooters have just been allowed, and that has also been stopped right now. And the entire road, as now the officials from the highways are now inspecting the road, and in case of heavy rain in the night, definitely the road will suffer more damages, and traffic could quite be closed on this road for a few days at least.
Now, we were also joined by Mr. S.R. Ramanan. He's the director of the Met Department in Chennai, and he told us more about the weather patterns in the area.
It is due to a low pressure area which developed in the West Central Bay, and then it went close to Andhra. Today morning it became a depression. Right now it is going towards Orissa.
I see. Okay.
And because of that, it has rained extensively in coastal Andhra Pradesh. And as far as Tamil Nadu is concerned, it is only scattered rains. But anyhow, because of the system, it has increased the rainfall over Kerala. Because of the spillover effect, you had it in the Western Ghat area, Kanyakumari district like this. We make operational forecast for next 48 hours. Maximum with models and all, we can predict for 10 days. And I don't expect in next 10 days any northeast monsoon onset, as a matter of fact. But I am expecting one more low pressure may form in the West Central Bay, may move closer to Andhra.
Now, we were also joined by our reporter Divya, who told us more about the developments in that one area.
Like we have heard from the authorities, the roads between Ooty and Kunnur have been damaged, and in an area called Aruvankarai in the Nilgiri district, the roads have also caved in, and there might have even been landslips there. Let me tell you that there are a lot of differences between landslides and landslips, and landslips are not that very dangerous, but because of that too, the traffic seems to have affected those areas, and heavy vehicles are asked not to ply on those roads, and of course I think they even mean the tourist vehicles, and they want to avoid taking a risk at all in those areas since the traffic has been affected. And because of this, the path has been diverted to the Kotagiri route. All the passengers and the vehicles are asked to take the Kotagiri path instead of this area. And of course, when I spoke to the Met Department about the rainfall that has that we have been receiving, they have said that Nilgiri district in Tamil Nadu has received the maximum amount of rainfall, and about 10 centimeters of rainfall have been registered here. And following that closely is the Iraniyal and Kulachal districts in Kanyakumari, where even in Kanyakumari several houses have been falling, it is said in reports coming in now. So, but of course about Chennai, they haven't told us anything about the rains in Chennai, and as we can say, we have been receiving unseasonal rainfall. So this is the scene as far as the Met Department is concerned now.
Right, now moving ahead, what will be the fate of 2-month-old Insha Fatima, whose parents decided to take the extreme step for some unknown reasons. In some shocking news from Guindy, a scrap merchant and his wife committed suicide and their 3-year-old son died along with them. The fourth person is the family is a young child, a 2-month-old child in fact, who is now safe. Our crime reporter Salim joined us and told us more about this tragic incident.
As of now, the police say that they are investigating the case. Also, the police very clearly say that when they interrogated Fatima's grandpa, he very clearly says that the deceased was facing some tension from the customs official. Now, apart from this, we managed to speak to Dr. Nirmal. Dr. Nirmal is the one who is treating 2-month-old Fatima. Mr. Nirmal very clearly said that the family, the entire family had consumed a poison called endosulfan, and miraculously, he termed it as a miracle, and miraculously 2-month-old Fatima managed to survive, and she is now being treated at a private hospital in Guindy. She is kept at the intensive medical care unit over there, and Dr. Nirmal added that they are carrying out arterial blood gases tests, like they are measuring the heart rate, they are measuring the oxygen level in the blood, and the doctor also says that they will be only able to deliver any concrete statement on the infant's condition only after 48 hours.
Now, recent elections in Tamil Nadu have been overshadowed by reports of widespread vote buying by political groups. Now, a group of former election officials say the culture of bribing voters and threats against political rivals should be stamped out. Peer Mohammed reports.
Tamil Nadu saw almost 10 by-elections in the past few years. Lavish bribing of voters to win seats has been a major concern. The Forum for Electoral Integrity, formed by former election officials and activists, say the use of money and violence to sway voters should end.
Last 3-4 years, what has been generally felt is the southern states, including Tamil Nadu, have seen a lot of use of money power in the election, more than other parts of the country. And therefore, this moment starting, this idea starting from this particular state is very appropriate.
There is no doubt the clean-up effort will be greeted with overwhelming public support. An open discussion on free and fair polls is to be held on Saturday, where the Chief Election Commissioner S.Y. Qureshi will listen to suggestions.
Silence, as you know, is consent. Then we are also agreeing to what is happening. That cannot be allowed. Besides, we firmly believe in one dictum: better to light a candle than curse the darkness. You can keep on cursing the darkness. Darkness is not going to go away.
The attempt to reform the way Tamil Nadu's voters choose their leaders comes at the most appropriate time. In about 6 months from now, the state will vote for a new government, which is expected to see a bitter fight. In Chennai with Peer Mohammed, Jay Santosh for NDTV Hindu.
Now, after the BCCI, it's the Enforcement Directorate that's gunning for Lalit Modi. Find out why Modi is in a soup on the other side.